For nearly 50 years, I've been doing affirmations when I first get up in the morning and when I go to sleep. I do my affirmations just before I go to sleep, and then I say my prayers, and I normally fall asleep saying my prayers. My affirmations are based on goals that I cannot accomplish in my lifetime. Cannot. This castle that I'm standing in front of, when I made the goal in the affirmation in the spring of 1983, I had no idea how I was going to buy a castle on an island. In September 1, 1984, I moved in. This is now my laird. Many years ago, while I had the privilege of working with the Onassis people, and more specifically with my former mentor, Konstantin Karatzos, who's the CEO of Onassis Group, I learned the idea or the concept of what gets measured gets accomplished. And I've used it for the better part of 4 decades now. This was merely really reinforcing something I learned in the military when I was a young military officer, that what gets measured gets accomplished and everything else is second place. It's a difficult concept because in today's world of the millennials, very little is put forth where they are accountable. And that has transformed into many, many other faulty things that are wrong with our society. But remember, what gets measured gets accomplished, kids. Here I am in front of the wall of influencers that I've used for the almost 50 years that have allowed me to focus on being super successful and coaching super successful kids the last 25 years. Based on success leaves clues, and why try and fail, trial and error, etc., when you can model other people. And modeling and mentorship is what QLA is all about. And for the next 12 months after these seminars, I will mentor these kids for free. And I will have 1 foot up their ass and 1 foot stepping on their neck. For almost 50 years, unknowingly, I've been smelling the leather and going places that I couldn't afford, sitting in cars like I'm standing in front of right now that I couldn't afford. And that's part of the reason that I've been driving Rolls Royces since I was 26 and a half. Smell the leather, kids. Go out there and do something outside your comfort zone. Go to that rich restaurant. It's better to go to a first-class Michelin star restaurant once a month than go out to dinner 3 times a week. Smell the leather and you too, you're on your way to creating generational wealth. If conventional wisdom actually worked, then why wouldn't we have a perfect world? Why would we not have no starvation? Why would we have not everybody wealthy? Because conventional wisdom is almost always wrong. And one of the precepts that has made QLA great in the last 25 years, and we've able to create way in excess of $50 billion with kids just like you, is that we go against conventional wisdom, not 100%, but almost 100%. You want to get generational wealth, fade conventional wisdom. Here I am standing in our pavilion in front of our newly constructed boxing ring, where we just a couple days ago had our first installment of the Guthrie Castle Experience boxing pugilism to illustrate people getting out of their comfort zone. We're going to show some pictures. It's already been online, but the fear in the eyes of some of the kids, yet they still force themselves to get in there and get the shit knocked out of them by some others. But this is a perfect metaphor that that which does not kill me makes me stronger. Since cold calling and getting out of your comfort zone is one of the pillars of the QLA system, this is a great experience, and we will do it in the future from now on. I've been telling the kids since I started coaching in May 1993 to focus on the few, not the many. Most kids that come to me in the last 25 years and have come through the Castle experience are engaged in way too many things. And the high performance, super successful people that I've had the privilege of working with, dealing with over my almost 50-year career have one proverb, if you will, and that's focus. Laser beam focus, but just on the few, not the many. Clausewitz, the Prussian general, said a couple hundred years ago, vis-a-vis warfare, to focus on the few. That means the few battles and not the many. And to be a high-performance person using QLA, you must focus on the few and stay laser beam focused. There's a line in the opera musical Evita, doesn't matter what the morons say. The part of QLA has been, for the past 25 years and for the most of my 50-year career, you don't give a fuck what they say and think. It's what we have to do as long as it's honest, moral, and ethical. And sometimes the hardest thing for me to get across to the kids, and we just finished a 6-day seminar, week seminar, where we had Josh Kim, my former teenage phenom, present, and it was easy to see how difficult it is because we've been raised to worry about what other people say. And as I told Brian Rose 4 years ago, you have no idea how limitless it is with your accomplishments when you stop worrying about what other people say, think. Just fucking do it. Hi kids, continuing our series, you are an average of the 5 people that you hang around with, or you hang or you chill. As I've said many times, Mr. Buffett and Mr. Gates don't hang or chill. And we're here in the main dining room of Gloucester Castle, and most of you have never eaten at a table like this. Most of you, unfortunately, don't know that you start silverware out and in and down towards the plate. But, and if you're 5 that you hang around with don't know that, then you're hanging around with the wrong people. You are who you associate with, and most of us growing up, myself included, didn't associate with the people that are going to help us attain high performance. Thank you. Hi, this is the $50 billion man again. Why do high-performance people always pull the trigger? Because they realize they only have one time to make a first impression in any transaction, just as you only have one time to make a first impression, the words you speak and how you look. They pull the trigger because they realize they have to fail and fail fast. Fail quickly and fail fast, and you'll be a high-performance person as well as they are.